Hey everyone, happy college football. Welcome to Porcelain Picks. I'm your host, Andrew Fabian. It's a Monday evening. We are through week 8, about halfway through the college football season. It's time for Porcelain Audit. This is our chance to come clean and be accountable to you, our viewers. We go over where we were right. We'll go over what we got wrong. We'll allow you to comment, give us some crap, tell us our praises for when we did well for you. We had a great week in week 8. We go 19-12, a big 31-pick week between Joey Mack and myself. That's our largest pick since this show has existed. We bring our total to 70-74 so far on the season. So we're inching closer to 500 after our second consecutive big winning week. We're going to keep that going because we have Porcelain Picks. We deliver you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. We'll dive into the action. We'll go over our picks here in week 8. We've got a big week 9 coming up ahead of us. Make sure you subscribe and comment. We love the engagement. All right. Friday night, a terrible start to week 8. We go 0-3 on Friday night. I picked Florida State. I did it again. Don't know why I did that. Plus 2.5. They've never lost to Duke. They were 22-0 all time. First win ever for Duke. They just blow out a terrible Florida State team. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to be taking Miami likely in this upcoming week against Florida State. Stay tuned. Purdue, the Boilermakers, plus 30.5-point dogs hosting Oregon. I thought this was a spot to place Boilermakers. I thought Purdue was going to keep this one close after the short week emotional victory for Oregon hosting Ohio State. That did not happen. Purdue gets blown out. They don't put a point on the board. That 30.5 was dead wrong. Didn't stand a chance. I also took over 60.5. With Purdue not scoring any points this week, that did not even tread water. All right, so we got 0 for 2 on that game, 0 for 3 on Friday night. Bad start. Good news is Saturday was much better. Started out with Army. Army we've been riding all season long. The Locksmiths and PTC opened our eyes to the Army running attack and passing attack. Army minus 16.5. This was a lock 'em flush 'em. I also took Army first quarter minus 3.5. Been doing this every week. They hit again. They score a touchdown on their first drive again. Lock it, flush it. Thank you, Army. Let's go to Indiana, hosting Nebraska in what was supposed to be Indiana's toughest test to date. I told you to take Indiana minus 6.5, and I told you to take the over 48.5. Hopefully for you, you followed. Both of those hit easily. Lock it, flush it. Let's go, Hoosiers. Big season. They should be ranked higher than they are right now. They're number 13 in the AP poll. The AP poll certainly favors the brand names. Otherwise, Indiana would be up there in the top 10. Let's go to Clemson. Clemson hosting Virginia. I told you Clemson minus 20 was a lock. Cade Klubnik has been covering spreads pretty much since that blowout defeat to Georgia in week 1. This time they come up just short. Virginia inexplicably gets some scores there late to get the backdoor cover. Clemson only wins by 17. This one was a loss, a rare loss in that noon slate. Auburn at Missouri. I told you to take Auburn plus 4.5. I said Auburn would probably win this game. They were leading the entire time. They end up losing by 4 in another blown game for Auburn. Hugh Freeze on the hot seat. This team's now 2-5 with a lot of close losses, a lot of blown games so far in this young season. I also told you to take the under 50.5. That one was never in doubt. It was a 21-17 game. We got both those right for you. All right, Miami, minus 4.5 at Louisville was my pick. I told you to take Miami. Team total over 32.5. That team total, easy hit. That minus 4.5 left us sweating, but Miami pulls out the 7-point victory. Lock it, flush it with the Hurricanes. They continue to bring the excitement on Saturdays. All right, South Carolina at Oklahoma. I told you to take under 41.5 with Oklahoma having no offense whatsoever. I thought South Carolina was going to get stuffed by Oklahoma. That didn't happen. They put up about 35 points to Oklahoma's 9, so the total goes 44, and that was over. Oklahoma's a terrible team, and this was a terrible call on the under. Let's go to Joey Mack's Max and Locks of the Week. All right, we're back on board with Mac. 3 picks, Central Michigan and Eastern Michigan. He said go over here. That one hit easily. That was never in doubt. It was good by the third quarter. Then he said Western Michigan -1 against Buffalo. Western wins by 7 in a high-scoring affair. They were the better team. Joey Mack, spot on again. His one blemish, going 2-1 on the week, was Kent State at Bowling Green. He told you to take the over 54.5. It was a good pick. Totals keep going over for Kent State. but this was a low-scoring affair. The under hits. Joey Mack goes 2-1. Let's move to the 3:30 slate. I told you to take Notre Dame minus 13.5 against Georgia Tech, neutral site field. Both teams banged up. Georgia Tech missing Haynes King, their starting quarterback and best player. I told you Notre Dame minus 13.5 was one of the easiest picks of the day. I was right about that. Lock it, flush it. Hopefully you followed. Michigan at Illinois. I told you Illinois was likely going to win this game, but we were going to take that plus 3.5. Should have taken money line. Illinois wins. Luke Altmaier and the Illini keep it going. Their only loss this year to Penn State. These guys, another team that are ranked, just like Indiana. They don't have the name brand, so they're not getting the respect that they maybe deserve, but we'll see. It'll play out on the field. All right, let's go. Bama at Tennessee. I told you to take Tennessee plus 3.5. I told you to take the under 56.5. Both of those hit. Bama's in trouble. We know that. Kalen DeBoer, this guy's got to get them back on track and do so quickly. These Bama fans have grown accustomed to Nick Saban and being on the winning end more often than not, or more than 80% of a clip with Nick Saban. So they got to right the ship. Losing to Tennessee 2 out of 3 years is not going to cut it. Tennessee propels themselves. They're still alive in this SEC fight. All right, Colorado and Arizona. I told you to take the over 57.5. That did not hit because Arizona cannot score points. They couldn't move the ball on Colorado. Colorado, believe it or not, quietly coming back from the dead. These guys are a contender in the Big 12. Coach Prime maybe operates better under the radar. We'll see. I told you to take Colorado plus 1.5 in the fourth quarter. These guys close out games. They try to pad the stat sheets. They did that here. They win in the fourth quarter, so we split this one, 1-1. Texas A&M at Mississippi State. I told you to take Mississippi State at home, 18.5. I thought Texas A&M was a little bit overvalued there after blowing out what I consider overrated Missouri team. That was the case. Mississippi State keeps it within 10 points, so they hit that plus 18.5. Lock it, flush it. I told you to take the under 56.5. Mississippi State games keep going over, and I'm wrong about that one. So we split this one. All right. LSU at Arkansas. I told you to take Arkansas money line. They were a 3.5-point favorite at home under the lights against LSU. LSU has proven that I'm wrong about them. They're for real. Good on LSU for going into Arkansas and winning this game outright and doing so easily. I was dead wrong on this pick. Arkansas, contender for stinker of the week. All right. Ball State at Vandy. Told you Ball State plus 27.5. This was way too high a spread for this game. Vandy is a good team. They're ranked for the first time since I think it's something like 2004, something like that. But congrats to Vandy on a great season so far. They get the victory, but this game was never in question. Ball State, lock 'em, flush 'em, kept this one close. Iowa at Michigan State. I told you Iowa minus 5.5 was the pick. I thought Aiden Childs was going to have a couple interceptions in this game and set Iowa up for short field position. That did not happen. Michigan State proved me wrong. Iowa loses this game outright, and it's not even close. Over 39.5 is what my pick was, which I luckily got right. The overs in Iowa have been hitting this year. If you recall, last year I was taking Iowa unders every single week. This year, it's the opposite. Iowa's only gone under one game, and that was against Michigan. So keep your eye out for that in weeks to come. We split the Iowa-Michigan State game. Kentucky at Florida. This was another money line pick. I took Florida. They were only a 1.5-point dog, but they were at home in the swamp. Both teams kind of on even keel with regards to expectations and where they lay in the SEC, both at 3-3 so far on the year. Florida wins. I got that one right. Lock it, flush it. But I did tell you to take the under 42.5. Thought this would be something like 21-17, a lower scoring affair. It goes a little bit over that 42.5. But Florida gets the victory. Another split in this game. Biggest game of the night, Georgia at Texas. I told you to take Texas minus 4.5. Everyone and their mother was on Texas to beat Georgia, and Kirby Smart just really had his team show up. These guys got up for the game. They showed Texas that their defense is stout. Texas has athletes. They've got big players all over the defensive and offensive lines. Georgia just outmatched them. They proved that they're for real. That loss to Bama, maybe a fluke. Georgia had a close game with Mississippi State a week ago, maybe a look-ahead game, but that was enough for me to hammer Texas. But Georgia and Kirby Smart, they're contenders in the SEC and certainly for the national championship. All right, so that's your 19-12 week. A lot of picks in there. Arkansas, you win our stinker of the week. I took you money line, had faith in you. This was a really good week overall for our picks, so it was kind of tough to pick Arkansas for stinker of the week, but that money line play never had a chance against LSU in front of the home crowd. You're our stinker of the week. But anyway, 19-12 on this week. We'll get back over 500 in week 9. We at Porcelain Picks, we bring you the locks you need as you scroll atop the porcelain throne. For Joey Mack, I'm Andrew Fabian. Happy college football. Let's get after it.